Welcome to sanjingyoda.org. My name is Deshung Tugu. Since right now, as we're recording this, 42.5 million people have been infected by the coronavirus and 1.25 million people have passed away. And for the people who have lost their loved ones, they will never get a chance to hug their loved ones again, their grandparents, their parents, their children, uncle, nieces, best friends, husband or wives. They'll never get a chance to hug them again or say the words, I love you. For a person like me, I lost my father when I was around 8 months old. I don't remember his face and I never got the chance to say I love you. I can tell you, even after 28 years, the feeling, it isn't as bad as it was during the first couple of years. And slowly, as time goes on, you don't feel the pain as much, but there's still a hollow that exists. And when I see, if I go to a supermarket or go for a walk, when I see the parents, especially their father, taking care of their children, I always wonder what it would be like if my father hadn't passed away. And I would never get a chance to say, I love you, or care for him, hug him. And for those of you, us as well, who haven't lost any family members or friends because of the coronavirus, we can never get back the time we lost that we can spend with them. I think it's been about now 10 months, close to 11 months. And the times, visiting your parents' houses if you're separated now, visiting your grandparents or your best friends or basically people you really care about. You can never get back the time you lost during the pandemic. In human nature, I believe, there's two sides. There's the dark side or the evil side, whatever words you prefer, or you call it the bright side or the goodness in humankind. And human nature, it comes out depending on the circumstances, which either is being bad circumstances or good circumstances will bring out what is inside humanity. And now, because of the coronavirus pandemic striking all across the world, we are now all leaning more towards negativity emotions, such as anxiety, anger, fear, hate. And as you can see now, not only are people suffering from the coronavirus, we have poverty, starvation all over Middle East countries like Yemen, also Africa, South Africa, all over the place. And we have war in some countries, in possibility of war in the future. And right now it's just a domino of one negative emotion after another. And another thing about negative emotions is that it attracts more negativity. So if you fear or afraid for it, then it brings anger, then it brings jealousy, envy. Basically, it's just uncontrollable amount of negativity is right now pouring into the world. And that is why right now it is most important to practice loving compassion. That is my belief. Now, what is loving compassion? In loving compassion, there's actually two different ways of doing it, in my opinion. One is meditation. So what you meditate is, you learn to love yourself. That's what I believe is. If you deeply care for someone, either being a part of your family or your best friend, and you see that person, he or she, just because of 1 minute out of a day, he or she spends the rest 23 hours and 59 minutes anguishing or unhappy or hateful over that 1 minute that wasted the rest of her day. Also the same for a year. Just because of 1 day, that person has sacrificed 364 days of things he could have achieved, things she could have enjoyed doing with passion, and letting it all go just because of one circumstances. Now, this actually applies the same for us too. We don't exactly pay that much attention to it. I think this is something that people need to realize and think about more. And that is, you don't desire yourself. We have to be very, very clear on this. Desiring is a way of making yourself look good by buying new cars or houses, or basically making people praise you, people think you are cool, or people get envy of you. That is not loving yourself. That is, as I would say, being selfish desire, right? That's not wrong. What I mean by love is making yourself be happy. The one right I believe every being in the universe has is being happy. That is one right no one can take away. Everyone has a right. And because of one small decision or one circumstances, we are letting all of our lives go to waste by saying, oh, I didn't get in a good college, or I didn't get this good book, or I didn't see this friend. That's really a waste. That's why when you learn to love yourself, then you can get into passion by seeing how you can improve yourself to make yourself happy, right? That's usually, I believe, people can find passions. If you're good at artwork, you can learn how to draw better, or you want to become a doctor, help people, you can do that as well. Learning to love yourself is also, I believe, is a key to improving yourself as well. You can also apply that to other people as well. My favorite story is the 3-time FIFA World Cup winner, the famous Brazilian player Pelé. His father was devastated when Brazil lost the World Cup when Pelé was about, I think, 7 years old. So he makes a promise to his father and says, I will become a football player and I will win the World Cup. And he achieved so much more than that. He became 3-time, he won Brazil, he led Brazil into winning the World Cup 3 times, and he became one of the most popular famous in the 20th century. That all came from a will to help other people, to make someone else proud. So I believe this is what we can do as well. If there's someone whom you really care about, either be a husband or a wife or children or parents or grandparents, friends, whatever, if that person is unhappy because of circumstances, you can educate yourself so you can figure out how to help that person go beyond that problem and be happy with his life. Like if he has finance problems, you become a financial advisor, you study finance, or if he has problems with being overweight or something, then you can also study nutrition, teach him how to diet, to become a exercise coach yourself. There's so many different ways that people can improve themselves to help others as well. That is what learning how to love yourself and love others can really achieve. If you're not a person of meditation, which is completely fine, you can actually apply it in your daily life as well. That is my opinion, appreciation. Before this pandemic began, I would have pizza usually every weekend, and I always took it for granted. I would eat it during watching a movie, so I would just stuff it in my mouth and I would never think about tasting it. Same for going for walks. Behind our school, there's a beautiful forest that I could have gone for walks anytime. I hardly ever did. We have a small town which is 10 minutes away, and I never went to a walk. I didn't want to sacrifice my time of playing games and watching movies to enjoy the natural world. But then now, this pandemic has really taught me about how to appreciate things. For 10 months now, I think, maybe a little less, I've not been able to have a single pizza. No, I haven't been able to go for any walks. And I made my promise to myself, because of this lesson, that in the future, whenever I get a chance to eat a pizza, I will be really careful and I will taste every bite of it. That is a promise I made to myself. Now, it's very important, I think, to show appreciation to your family. This is another lesson that this pandemic has taught us, is that we will never know when it will end. So call your parents, your grandparents, whomever you care for every day. Don't text message them. Science has proven that doesn't have much value as giving a person your full attention. It's kind of like I'm thinking about you while doing something else. But when you are calling somebody on voice call or video call, you're giving them full attention, which brings them value. Not only that, just call them so much, you actually make them fed up with your love and your appreciation for them, because you never know when it will end. Trust me, from a person who lost his father and never got the chance to say I love you to his father, there's not much in the world that there's bigger regret than having that, I believe. You do not want to live with the regret of ever letting go of the chance to show your love to your parents, your children, your very deeply cared for friends, whatever. There is already so much suffering in this world. Do not let that chant slip away as well. And mean it every time you say it to them. Like, make it a mantra, say it again and again. I care for you, I love you, I want you to be happy. And when you're saying that, I want you to think, how would it feel like if you never saw them again? If something happens and they pass away, you never will get the chance to care for them, be with them ever again in this lifetime. That's why I believe this is very important. Let's overcome this pandemic together with loving compassion and kindness. Stay safe and take care. Goodbye.